Lila walked into the dimly lit upscale bar, the scent of aged whiskey and expensive cigars filling the air. Her sleek black dress clung to her frame as she scanned the room, her heart pounding. She wasn't nervous, she was calculating. At 20, she had learned that in a city of power and greed, beauty was its own kind of currency. Across the room, Richard watched her, his steel-gray eyes analyzing every movement she made. He was in his late 50s, dressed in a tailored navy suit, swirling the amber liquid in his glass. He had seen hundreds of young women come and go, all drawn to wealth like moths to flame. But Lila was different. Expanded narrative with more scenes, depth, and psychological complexity. Their first meeting wasn't entirely by chance. Lila had done her research. Richard Caldwell was not just another wealthy businessman. He was an enigma, a man who moved in shadows as easily as he did in high society. He owned real estate, corporations, and held significant political influence. She had watched him from afar, studying his patterns, reading about his past, the women who came before her. Some disappeared from the public eye, their social media accounts wiped clean. Others moved away and never spoke of him again. But Lila wasn't afraid. She was prepared. Richard, however, was no fool. He had seen ambitious women before, but something about Lila intrigued him. She had fire, an intelligence behind her eyes that made her dangerous, yet irresistible. When she sat across from him at the restaurant, he leaned in slightly, testing her resolve. "You have ambition," Richard said, placing an envelope on the table. "I can see in your eyes, but ambition without guidance? It's a waste. Let me help you." Lila had read about men like Richard. She had seen their names in business magazines and heard whispers of their influence in high society. When she opened the envelope and saw stacks of crisp $100 bills, she felt her world tilt. She hesitated, glancing up at him. He only smiled. "And what do you want in return?" she asked. "Just your company. For now." Deeper exploration of their relationship. The arrangement was intoxicating at first. Lila found herself in a world she had only dreamed of. Private jets, exclusive clubs, penthouses overlooking entire cities. Richard draped her in designer clothes, adorned her with diamonds, introduced her to senators, celebrities, and billionaires. She wasn't just a girl on his arm. She was a statement. But the illusion of control was just that, an illusion. Richard's possessiveness surfaced in small ways. A subtle tightening of his grip on her arm when another man looked at her too long. A comment about how she should dress, who she should talk to, where she should go. It was always wrapped in care and protection. "You don't need anyone else, Lila," he murmured one night, tucking her hair behind her ear. "I take care of you, don't I?" And she nodded. Because what else could she do? The unraveling. But Richard was keeping secrets, and Lila wasn't as naive as he believed. Late at night, when he was away, she explored his mansion. She found locked doors, secured safes, and documents that told a different story. Offshore accounts, hidden investments, NDAs with past lovers. Some of the women's names were redacted, but Lila recognized one, a model who had vanished from the public eye. She had to get out. The escape plan? The escape wasn't easy. She waited for the perfect moment. Richard was away on business, the security guards distracted. She stuffed a duffel bag with whatever she could carry and slipped out into the night, hailing a cab. Her hands shook as she gave the driver an address. But just as they pulled onto the highway, her phone buzzed. A text from Richard. "Come back, sweetheart, or you'll regret it." Her blood ran cold. The driver glanced at her in the mirror. Behind them, a sleek black car followed. She didn't stop until she reached the police station, her breath coming in ragged gasps as she handed over a flash drive. "I have evidence, but you have to help me." The hunt. The next few months were a blur. She changed her name, dyed her hair, moved to a city where no one knew her. But even then, she felt Richard's presence like a shadow lingering just beyond her vision. One night, she turned on the television in her motel room. The news anchor's voice was grave. Billionaire businessman Richard Caldwell is under investigation for financial crimes. Her breath caught. His empire was crumbling. But men like Richard didn't go down without a fight. Her burner phone buzzed. A single message appeared. You think you're safe? Watch your back. She didn't run this time. Instead, she met with a journalist in a quiet diner, sliding a folder across the table. Expose him. Everything. Make sure he can't hurt anyone else. But Richard was always one step ahead. As she boarded a plane, ready to leave the past behind, a man slid into the seat beside her. She turned, her heart stopping when she met his gaze. Richard smiled. Miss me? The screen cuts to black. Some predators never stop hunting. Would you have done anything differently? Comment below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.